What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Sorry about the car noise in the back. Not much I can do about that. But as you can tell, I got an Acura MDX here, 2022 model, and we're gonna review it. All right, so yeah, in the inside here, we've got the leather steering wheel, buttons to control your driving modes, as well as parts of the infotainment system. You have a digital screen for your speedometer, RPM, etc. And then on the infotainment screen, you got this nice wide screen right here. As you can tell, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless for both. The gear selector, you've got your drive, park, whatever, but it's buttons. So for those of you who don't like buttons and prefer the actual stick, you're not gonna get it. I mean, it's been gone for a few years, but it is what it is. You got the little auto off is what I call it. Basically, when you're in traffic and your car's stopped at a red light, the engine will shut off on its own and you will be able to save gas and it'll automatically start once you start moving. It's pretty quick, so it's not like a full shut off. Down right below it, you got brake hold. In a sense, that's when you're in a drive-through or something along those lines and you're stopped behind a car. Instead of holding the brake the entire time, you just click brake hold and it'll do it for you. Right here, you got those little electricity signs. You get a USB-A port and USB-C for charging your phones and etc. All right, and then this is how you control the actual infotainment system. Not my favorite, to be honest. This is a little touchpad plus the home button back, and then this controls the secondary side of the screen. So the touchpad controls one half, and the other side controls this little small section. I would have much preferred buttons, which you do get on the steering wheel right here, but it's not that useful. So there's that. You get this little armrest, which is nice just to have, plus a wireless charger right below it. A little 2 cup holders plus a little spot for like sunglasses and stuff. They're able to fit a Hydro Flask, which means they're pretty big. As for your console space, you get a decent amount of space in here. USB-A port plus 12-volt port, and then here you get space for your wallets, etc. All right, so that, as far as the infotainment system goes, that's pretty much it. And then up here, your little sunglasses, and then you have a full moonroof that can go all the way back towards the end. Plus, you get it extends all the way back, so you can do that as well. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of moonroofs being open like this because it's just sun on your face, but different strokes for different folks. All right, so in terms of space in the back, I'm 6 foot, so I have the driver's seat configured for the way I drive. I'm generally a more relaxed driver, so I usually tend to lean back a little bit more. So not a lot of space back here for me, but if you're shorter or you tend to be closer to the wheel, it's a lot better. And then down here you get your air conditioning controls, temperature gauges for cold and hot. Plus you get another 12 volt and 2 more USB-A ports, which is actually amazing because it's a lot more difficult to kind of have to get the 6 foot cord and put it all the way and then have to bring it all the way back here. So yeah, this seat reclines down, as you can tell. Plus you get 2 cup holders. They're a lot smaller than the ones in the front. And then you get this little tray here for accessories. If you're on a long road trip, you can put your Switch right here or something along those lines. So as for trunk space, you get a decent amount. I don't really have much in here, just a backpack and my camera bag. But if you put the seats down, like I have on this side, you get a decent amount of space back, which is cool. Plus you get this right here on the side for your grocery bags, etc. So a decent amount of space. The more you put back, obviously the more space you get. Nothing too crazy. If you have a 21, 20, or even 19 model, not a lot in terms of space changes, but pretty much very similar. On this model, which is the base model, you get the V6 engine with the 10-speed transmission. As far as driving goes, you'll see that in the next clips, but it's pretty solid. You can get this car with a V8 if you get the higher trims, but honestly, in terms of gas mileage and stuff, I'd stick with this one because already this one isn't really much of an upgrade from the past few years. It gets about 19-20 miles per gallon, which would be okay if it was a few years older, but in 2022, I guess, when this car, or 2021, I guess, when this car is now, not great, but it's not bad. So this is me driving it right now. I'm at the Angeles Crest Highway, for those of you that live in LA. I didn't mention a few things, so let me get those out of the way really quickly. Down here, there's a little dynamic mode. That's kind of your drive mode selector. So now I turned it to the right, and it has snow, comfort, normal, and sport. So while I'm on these mountains, I have it set to sport, just to kind of have a little bit of fun. But as for how it transitions between gears and stuff like that, It's pretty solid. I mean, it's pretty smooth, honestly. It's little minor bumps and stuff like that, you'll feel it, but for the most part, like compared to other cars I've driven, etc., it's not that bad. As for like actually steering and stuff, it tends to oversteer. So you're gonna have to be a little more cautious about that, especially when you're hitting tight turns. You don't want to get a little too close to like the wall or something like that. And then as for one of the other things I missed, the rear seats, when I was talking about the space in between, they have a little bar below it. I forgot to say that, but you can pull that bar and then put the rear seats further back. So that should help for those of you who are 6'5" and want to sit in the back. Yeah, so one of the things I noticed as I'm driving it is the interior. This little trim right here on the interior is like a glossy type of black, not a matte. So it's a fingerprint magnet. So you're gonna have to really keep it clean, because I've only had it for at this point a few hours, and it already has a ton of like dust particles on it and a bunch of fingerprints and stuff like that. So maybe newer trims have probably a different trim. Newer trim models have a different trim here, but as for this one, not my favorite. And then another thing I've noticed is right now I have it on sport, so everything's a little bit more twitchy and stuff like that, which on these mountains is how I enjoy driving it. But even when I had it on normal, it was still pretty twitchy. So if you're kind of a more safer driver, I would definitely have it set to either normal or slow, because then it kind of slows down the throttle and it'll be a little easier for you to kind of drive. And then you also might end up saving gas that way. That's not one of the things they advertise, but generally slower throttle means you're pushing less gas at one time. So maybe, and since this car has like a 19 mile per gallon EPA rating, maybe you want to do that if you're trying to get something a little bit better than that. But yeah, this is one of the things I've noticed. But I mean, as for driving, I'm kind of putting it in like the worst kind of condition, driving through these mountains. Most of you guys are gonna be driving on like streets, not really hitting sharp turns like I am right now. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's great. Nothing, to write home about, but nothing horrible or anything like that. I would definitely recommend this more so for families, obviously, since it's a larger car. But if you're trying to get this for yourself and you just need, the extra space in the back for like hauling, things like that, you can definitely fit like a full surfboard in here if you put the seats down, or like skis and stuff like that. So it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, this is more so of a family car, obviously. And let me know in the comments if you want me to do more of these car reviews. I'm definitely, down to do it. But I just want to make sure this is something you guys like. This is a little different from the stuff we normally do. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked, click like. If you want to watch some of my more videos, click subscribe. I'm going to try to be more consistent now. Finally got a bit of a regiment going, so hopefully you can get some more videos every week. Other than that, see you guys later.